hacking. You might think this is a new and modern occurrence. However, you'd be wrong. Hacking can actually find its origins in the 1950s, when it was called phreaking. Which begs the question, what is phreaking? And before you ask, no, it isn't that. You f***ing pervert. Alright, phreaking is basically hacking, but with phones. Yes, that sort of phone. They can, and in fact were, actually hackable. How and why would one hack a phone, you might ask? Well, you'll need to know a little bit about how phones of the day operated. Back in the olden days, phone companies had people, called switchboard operators, who would route phone calls. You'd tell them who you wanted to call, and they'd switch you through. However, people are inefficient, and also they need to be paid, which costs money. So phone companies thought, why not replace with technology? And they did. This was the start of automated switching, which was basically switching, but automated. Shocking. How was this done? Well, keep in mind phone calls are basically sending sound from one place to another. So imagine, if you will, in addition to your voice, you could send instructions that would route your call. Now, how would you do this? Well, basically, you would send special sounds. These are sounds that humans usually don't make in conversation that are sent along with your voice during a phone call. These sounds act as special instruction sounds, which are used to route your call. More specifically, this was done with a 2600 Hz frequency, which sounds like this. At a very basic level, this could be used to dial numbers. However, at a more complex level, this could be used to recreate the 12 tones or sequences used by phone companies to route phone calls, which meant that a phreaker using the right code could make a free long-distance call and talk to kangaroos if they so desired. You may be wondering, how did phreakers figure this all out? Well, some, like Joseph Carl Ingrizia Jr., better known as his pseudonym Joy Bubbles, a blind 7-year-old who had perfect pitch, happened upon the system by accident. Joy Bubbles discovered that when he whistled 4th E above C, he could trick the phone company into thinking the call had ended. This may not sound very useful, but it was one of the first discoveries of the 2600 Hz frequency exploit. By the way, Joseph Carl is worth looking up, as he led a rather interesting but tragic life, which goes beyond the scope of this video. A more common method for freaks to discover exploits was dumpster diving outside the offices of phone companies, and prowling around for technical manuals or old equipment. As to why one would want to hack the phone system, you have to understand the telecommunication landscape of the time. First, and hopefully obviously, this was pre-internet, so if you wanted to call someone, you'd have to, in fact, make a phone call. This was not a cheap task due to the Bell Network's monopoly over the United States. If you weren't happy with a price, too bad. There were literally no other companies to go to. Finally, in the event you think that you can still use this method to get yourself some sweet free calls, you actually can't, because in 1983 the phone company upgraded to a system called CCIS, which separated the part of the call or channel that contains your voice and the channel that contains switching information.
Ring, 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 banana phone. Ring, 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 banana phone.